15 black celebrities who were the worst wife-beaters in history. How many devastating secrets can the blinding adoration of millions conceal? We celebrate their timeless anthems, worship their championship rings, and place them on untouchable pedestals. Yet behind closed mansion doors, some of culture's most revered icons turned their private homes into unforgiving living nightmares. Today, we peel back the polished layers of fame to confront the documented harrowing truths behind the idols we thought we knew. Before we expose these hidden case files, make sure to subscribe to Golden Black Legends and drop a comment below sharing which untold story surprised you the most. Brace yourself because the brutal reality will force you to question everything behind the spotlight. Ike Turner. Behind the electrifying pioneer of rock and soul lay an enduring domestic nightmare that spanned nearly 2 decades. On stage, the Ike and Tina Turner Revue delivered seismic rhythm, flawless choreography, and chart-topping hits like Proud Mary, mesmerizing millions across the globe. Audiences cheered the dynamic spectacle, unaware that behind the velvet curtains, Ike's severe drug dependency and desperate need for dominion transformed their home and dressing rooms into arenas of silent dread. As Tina's magnetic voice and unmatched stage presence began to outshine his own, Ike turned to systematic violence to reassert his control. Between 1962 and 1976, Tina endured chronic physical abuse behind the closed doors of their luxurious estate and touring buses, fractured jaws, a broken nose, third-degree burns from hot coffee hurled across hotel rooms, and severe bruised ribs. Ike famously used heavy wooden shoe stretchers as improvised weapons to strike her before live broadcasts, coldly forcing her to conceal deep lacerations under thick pancake makeup and heavy wigs just minutes before walking under the blinding stage lights. The terror reached its absolute breaking point on July 1, 1976, during a violent struggle in the back of a limousine in Dallas, Texas. Bloodied and battered over performance disputes, Tina waited until Ike fell into an exhausted sleep, then slipped away into the dark night, clutching just 36 cents and a mobile credit card to seek shelter at a nearby hotel. The harrowing revelations published in her 1986 memoir, Forever Unmasked, the musical icon casting an indelible shadow over his artistic legacy. Though later inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Ike remained haunted by public condemnation and alienated from the loved ones he terrorized. He passed away in December 2007, leaving behind a tragic reminder of how brilliance can harbor an unforgivable darkness. Michael Dokes. Beneath the glittering lights of 1980s heavyweight boxing, Michael Dynamite Dokes mesmerized audiences with lightning-fast hand speed, capturing the WBA world title at just 24. Fans cheered the charismatic champion as an emblem of sheer resilience, entirely unaware of the catastrophic addiction and volatile cruelty that lurked away from the cameras. As substance abuse steadily eclipsed his career, his private life dissolved into an unchecked storm of volatile aggression. The facade collapsed permanently in August 1998 inside his Las Vegas residence. In a drug-fueled frenzy, Dokes subjected his longtime partner Roberta Cooper to a harrowing ordeal spanning several consecutive hours. Weaponizing his imposing heavyweight physique, the professional fighter inflicted severe bodily harm, leaving his victim with a fractured jaw, major facial trauma, and profound lacerations. To maintain complete control, he prevented her from seeking medical assistance, turning their home into an inescapable fortress of terror until emergency authorities finally breached the apartment. The legal fallout was immediate and unforgiving. In 2000, Dokes was convicted of attempted murder, sexual assault, and false imprisonment, receiving a severe state prison sentence that definitively ended any hopes of athletic redemption. Once showered with multi-million-dollar paydays and widespread public adulation, the fallen champion spent years behind bars, grappling with the irreversible damage he inflicted. After his release, he lived in reclusive poverty, heavily ostracized from the boxing fraternity that once elevated him to legendary heights. Dokes succumbed to liver cancer in August 2012, isolated and largely forgotten, a grim testament to how raw, athletic greatness, when corrupted by unchecked brutality, leaves behind nothing but enduring tragedy. Chris Brown. Bursting onto the global music scene as a teenage prodigy, Chris Brown drew immediate comparisons to the greatest pop dancers in history. With chart-topping hits, polished choreography, and an angelic boy next-door image, he captivated millions of adolescent fans and seasoned listeners alike. Yet beneath the radiant commercial appeal was a simmering temperament that would erupt into one of the most publicized domestic abuse scandals of the 21st century. On the eve of the 2009 Grammy Awards in Los Angeles, an argument inside a parked vehicle turned profoundly violent. Brown launched a vicious physical attack against his high-profile partner pop star Rihanna. The assault resulted in severe facial contusions, split lips, and deep soft tissue trauma that required immediate emergency hospitalization. When the LAPD's confidential evidentiary photographs leaked to international media, the shocking imagery permanently shattered the curated illusions of his youthful innocence. The justice system responded with swift legal accountability. Brown pleaded guilty to felony assault, receiving 5 years of formal probation, mandatory community labor, and intensive domestic violence rehabilitation counseling. Despite commercial resurgences and a loyal fan base, his career remained perpetually dogged by subsequent restraining orders, legal altercations, and international travel bans enacted by several foreign governments. The incident sparked a vital worldwide reckoning regarding accountability within the contemporary music industry. It permanently changed the public conversation surrounding young celebrity relationships, proving that extraordinary commercial influence cannot erase the painful reality of physical violence. Brown continues his music career under an indelible cloud of scrutiny, serving as a modern reminder of how quickly a legacy can unravel when private conduct betrays public trust. Floyd Mayweather Jr., celebrated across the globe for his peerless defensive masterclass and immaculate unblemished record, Floyd "Money" Mayweather Jr. cemented his stature as the most lucrative prizefighter of his generation. Tens of millions marveled at his unmatched boxing IQ, unyielding discipline inside the ropes, and astonishing accumulation of championship belts. Yet beyond the private jets, diamond-encrusted watches, and flashy bravado, Mayweather's domestic history was repeatedly scarred by serious criminal allegations. Between 2001 and 2010, multiple legal filings and police interventions documented a disturbing pattern of physical hostility against intimate partners. The most severe incident unfolded in September 2010 at his Las Vegas estate. Following a bitter dispute, Mayweather physically attacked his former partner and the mother of his 3 children, Josie Harris. The attack occurred directly in front of their young sons, who courageously slipped away to alert residential security guards and summon emergency police units to intervene, faced with overwhelming witness testimony and medical records. Mayweather reached a plea agreement in late 2011, pleading guilty to misdemeanor domestic battery and harassment charges. In June 2012, the world's highest-paid athlete surrendered to authorities at the Clark County Detention Center to serve a mandatory 90-day jail sentence. The conviction dealt an irreparable blow to his broader commercial marketability, alienating major corporate sponsors despite his astronomical pay-per-view dominance. Although he retired undefeated in the ring with unprecedented monetary riches, his legacy remains permanently fractured by the painful testimony of those he harmed behind closed doors, a stark reminder that defensive perfection in the spotlight cannot shield a man from the grave consequences of domestic violence. Rick James. Known as the charismatic pioneer of punk funk, Rick James defined an era of flamboyant stage presence, braided hair, and monster grooves like Super Freak. His infectious energy filled arenas and generated multi-platinum sales throughout the late 1970s and 1980s. Yet behind the energetic bass lines and extravagant rock and roll lifestyle lay a devastating long-term struggle with severe crack cocaine addiction that turned his lavish private suites into perilous chambers of coercion and violence. In the early 1990s, the dark reality behind his eccentric persona exploded into the public domain through high-profile criminal trials in California. In 1991, James and his future wife Tanya Hijazi were arrested after holding a woman against her will for days inside a West Hollywood hotel, subjecting her to severe physical assaults and intimidation with a burning crack pipe. Just 2 years later, while out on bail, James faced another shocking indictment for violently assaulting and falsely imprisoning a music executive inside his Hollywood Hills home. The legal system handed down a decisive verdict. In 1994, James was convicted of multiple felony counts, including assault with a deadly weapon and false imprisonment, resulting in a 3-year sentence served at Folsom State Prison, along with millions paid in civil damages. The convictions permanently shattered the romanticized image of the funk maestro. The immense musical influence that once dominated MTV was irrevocably tarnished by the harrowing court testimonies of his victims. After his release from prison, James lived in declining health, struggling with cardiovascular issues and diabetes before passing away from heart failure in August 2004, a somber testament to the destructive fallout of uncontrolled addiction and abuse. Sean Diddy Combs. For 3 decades, Sean Diddy Combs epitomized the ultimate hip-hop mogul, a tastemaker whose Bad Boy Records empire launched iconic careers, dictated global fashion, and orchestrated multi-billion-dollar corporate ventures. Radiating unmatched swagger on red carpets and hosting exclusive annual gatherings, Combs cultivated an image of triumphant sophistication and cultural leadership. However, beneath the polished corporate branding lay disturbing decades of intimidation, severe coercive control, and hidden domestic aggression. The facade cracked irrevocably when his longtime romantic partner, singer Cassie Ventura, filed a comprehensive federal lawsuit in late 2023 detailing years of physical assaults, violent demands, and psychological subjugation. While the initial civil dispute was settled within 24 hours, the gravity of the allegations triggered widespread scrutiny. The tipping point arrived months later, when leaked 2016 surveillance footage surfaced capturing Combs chasing, grabbing, kicking, and dragging Ventura down a hotel hallway in Los Angeles. The damning video evidence sparked universal public condemnation, leading to a sudden cascade of revoked corporate partnerships, stripped academic honors, and widespread industry boycotts. Combs was forced into a public video apology, but the momentum of accountability was already irreversible as federal authorities launched extensive investigations into his wider network and private operations. Once celebrated as one of the most untouchable kingmakers in modern entertainment, Combs watched his meticulously crafted legacy crumble under the undeniable weight of visual proof and survivor courage. The scandal reshaped public awareness regarding power imbalances in the entertainment industry, demonstrating that immense wealth and cultural influence can no longer silence the painful truths of domestic brutality. Ray Rice, as the powerhouse running back for the Baltimore Ravens. Ray Rice was hailed as a dynamic Pro Bowl athlete, Super Bowl champion, and beloved community ambassador known for his charitable anti-bullying campaigns. His explosive agility on the gridiron made him an indispensable cornerstone of his franchise and a celebrated hero across Maryland. Yet in a single catastrophic instant, his stellar football career was permanently derailed by an act of unvarnished violence. In February 2014, an intense altercation between Rice and his then-fiancée Janay Palmer occurred inside an elevator at the Revel Casino in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Months later, public broadcaster TMZ released unedited security footage that stunned the sports world. The video captured Rice delivering a powerful strike that knocked Palmer completely unconscious, followed by him callously dragging her limp body out into the hotel corridor. The visceral footage triggered immediate outrage and forced an unprecedented crisis within the NFL. The Ravens instantly terminated Rice's lucrative multi-million-dollar contract, and the league suspended him indefinitely, prompting sweeping historic overhauls to professional sports' domestic violence policies and disciplinary standards. Although Rice avoided jail time by completing a court-approved pretrial intervention program, the public and sporting world definitively slammed their doors shut. Despite multiple public apologies, candid interviews regarding his rehabilitation and active participation in domestic violence awareness programs, he was never signed by another NFL team, concluding his athletic journey at age 27. Rice's sudden downfall remains a landmark case study in modern sports culture, illustrating how a single, unmasked moment of domestic violence can obliterate a lifetime of athletic glory. James Brown, revered as the godfather of soul, Mr. Dynamite and the hardest working man in show business, James Brown revolutionized 20th century music with his relentless syncopated rhythms, unmatched stage stamina, and timeless anthems like Papa's Got a Brand New Bag. Millions worldwide drew inspiration from his transcendent funk creations and monumental cultural impact. Yet behind the dazzling spins, microphone drops, and theatrical capes, Brown ruled his private households with an iron fist fueled by explosive rage and heavy drug misuse. Throughout his turbulent decades in the spotlight, Brown faced numerous domestic violence investigations, restraining orders, and high-profile arrests. His third wife, Adrienne Lois Rodriguez, repeatedly summoned law enforcement to their Georgia residence between 1988 and 1995, documenting severe physical assaults, weapons discharges, and vehicle damage. Even in his later years, the cycle continued. In 2004, at the age of 70, Brown was arrested and charged with domestic battery following a violent altercation that left his fourth wife, Tommy Ray Heine, injured. While Brown's exceptional musical genius earned him inaugural induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and a prestigious Kennedy Center, honor his criminal record cast an inescapable permanent shadow over his life story. The alarming reports of domestic tyranny, combined with reckless police pursuits and prison sentences for unrelated firearm offenses, deeply complicated his standing as a civil rights icon. Brown passed away on Christmas Day in 2006, leaving behind an extraordinary musical library alongside a tragic domestic reality. His complicated legacy remains a profound reminder that musical genius cannot excuse the deep wounds inflicted upon those closest in the dark corners of the home. Mike Tyson, hailed as Iron Mike, Mike Tyson exploded onto the world boxing scene as the youngest heavyweight champion in history at just 20 years old. With terrifying knockout power, blinding hand speed, and an aura of invincibility, he captured the imagination of global sports fans and commanded astronomical multi-million-dollar paydays. Yet beneath the fearsome fighting persona lay a volatile private life fraught with uncontrolled rage, turbulent impulse control, and deeply destructive domestic conflicts. In 1988, Tyson married rising television actress Robin Givens, a high-profile union that quickly devolved into an escalating nightmare of emotional volatility and physical intimidation. The horrifying reality behind their gated mansion exploded into the public consciousness during a joint national television interview with Barbara Walters on ABC's 2020. Sitting alongside Tyson, Givens candidly described their marriage as pure hell, revealing that Tyson frequently suffered from uncontrollable bouts of manic fury, during which he broke furniture, hurled threatening insults, and physically lashed out in violent strikes. The televised admission shocked the nation and precipitated a swift, contentious divorce alongside formal restraining orders. While Tyson continued his complex, turbulent boxing journey, marked by subsequent criminal convictions, imprisonment, and wild public controversies. His domestic violence record permanently fractured the clean, heroic narrative crafted during his early championship ascent. Although Tyson eventually embarked on a long public path of personal reflection, meditation, and sobriety, in his later years, the painful memories of his early volatile behavior remain etched into sports history. His tumultuous story stands as a stark lesson on how explosive physical power, when left unchecked outside the ring, inevitably shatters the lives of those within its immediate reach. George McRae. In the summer of 1974, George McRae skyrocketed to international disco stardom with the monumental hit Rock Your Baby, which sold over 11 million copies and dominated dance charts across the globe. Audiences were captivated by his smooth falsetto and the effortless romantic charisma he projected under the glittering mirror balls. Alongside his wife soul powerhouse, Gwen McRae, famed for her own chart-topper Rockin' Chair, the couple was presented to the public as a harmonious, talented royal duo of Southern soul and disco. Behind the glamorous recording studios and sold-out joint tours, however, lay a toxic marriage poisoned by deep professional jealousy, explosive egos, and escalating domestic violence. As Gwen's critical acclaim and independent artistic profile began to match and at times surpass his own, George struggled with severe resentment. In later retrospective interviews, Gwen courageously unmasked the glittering facade, recounting severe physical altercations in hotel dressing rooms and backstage quarters where heavy objects were hurled, leaving deep gashes and painful contusions that had to be hastily covered with thick stage makeup minutes before stepping onto the stage to sing romantic duets. The combative, painful marriage finally fractured into an expensive and bitter divorce by the end of the 1970s. Disillusioned with the American media landscape and carrying the heavy personal baggage of his turbulent past, George relocated across the Atlantic to rebuild a quieter life in Europe, largely withdrawing from mainstream American entertainment. McRae lived out his final decades in reclusive retirement in the Netherlands before passing away in 2025. The painful disclosures of the McRae marriage forever altered how fans perceived their romantic anthems, offering a sobering look at how professional envy can curdle into private brutality beneath the glittering lights of the stage. Miles Davis. Regarded as one of the most visionary and influential figures in 20th century music, Miles Davis constantly redefined modern jazz through timeless masterpieces like Kind of Blue and Bitches Brew. With his sharp tailored suits, raspy whisper and enigmatic cool posture, he was revered by intellectuals, artists and music lovers as the ultimate paragon of creative genius. Yet behind that revolutionary musical mind lay a dark, tortured reality driven by severe cocaine abuse, unyielding paranoia, and violent domestic domination. In his strikingly candid 1989 autobiography, Miles, the autobiography, Davis openly admitted to what had been whispered about for decades: his chronic, brutal physical abuse of his romantic partners. His first wife, the gifted dancer and Broadway actress Frances Taylor Davis, whose striking face famously graced the cover of his iconic album Someday My Prince Will Come, bore the brunt of his pathological jealousy and substance-fueled fury. Davis recounted instances of striking her in fits of blind rage, inflicting severe facial injuries, and violently forbidding her from continuing her own celebrated dancing career on Broadway, so she would remain under his total control. Taylor eventually fled the marital home in sheer fear for her life in 1965, initiating a divorce that permanently ended their harrowing partnership. Similar disturbing allegations of physical intimidation and emotional abuse surfaced from subsequent romantic relationships throughout his life, including his turbulent marriage to funk trailblazer Betty Davis. Davis passed away from stroke complications and pneumonia in September 1991, leaving behind an incomparable artistic catalogue forever entwined with a troubling domestic truth. His legacy remains a profound cautionary case study for jazz aficionados, proving that transcendent artistic brilliance cannot wash away the enduring trauma inflicted upon the women he vowed to love. Bobby Brown. Rising from the rough projects of Boston to become the self-proclaimed king of R&B, Bobby Brown defined late 1980s pop culture with the chart-topping new Jack Swing classic Don't Be Cruel. With high-energy dance routines, magnetic swagger, and infectious hits like My Prerogative, he commanded massive arenas worldwide. In 1992, his celebrity reached unprecedented heights when he married pop music's reigning queen Whitney Houston, creating an iconic power couple dynamic that fascinated international tabloids for over a decade. Yet beneath the multi-million-dollar royal facade, the marriage devolved into a harrowing spiral of destructive substance abuse, mutual codependency, and escalating domestic violence. The turbulent conflicts between the two superstars frequently spilled out into public view and police blotters. The most notable legal intervention occurred in December 2003 at their suburban Atlanta mansion when local police responded to a domestic disturbance call. Officers documented Houston with a lacerated lip and bruised cheek, leading to Brown's immediate arrest and formal misdemeanor battery charges for striking his wife. The ensuing legal proceedings, combined with chaotic depictions of their troubled household on reality television, permanently shattered the romantic illusion of their union. The couple endured a bitter, protracted divorce in 2007, marking the end of a tragic chapter that took an immense emotional and physical toll on both artists. While Brown has since made public efforts to overcome addiction, rebuild his family, and reflect openly upon his chaotic past, the public record of his volatile domestic disputes remains an inescapable part of his biography. His story serves as a tragic cautionary tale of how fame, severe substance dependency, and uncontrolled temper can destroy the most gifted lives. Mitch Green. Known throughout the boxing world as Blood, Mitch Green built a reputation as a fierce, durable heavyweight contender from New York City, taking prime fighters like Mike Tyson the full distance in high-stakes bouts during the mid-1980s. With towering height, raw power, and an unmistakable swagger inside the ropes, Green was a fixture of East Coast prize fighting. Yet away from the canvas, his unstable lifestyle, recurring run-ins with law enforcement, and struggles with illicit substances frequently spilled into frightening, volatile encounters. Throughout the late 1980s and 1990s, Green's extensive criminal record became a frequent subject of New York tabloids, encompassing dozens of police interventions, disorderly conduct charges, and serious domestic disputes. Law enforcement records documented repeated incidents of explosive physical aggression and severe intimidation against intimate partners and family members within his residence. Rather than leaving his fighting instincts inside the ring, his erratic behavior and heavy substance abuse fueled sudden confrontations that left those closest to him trapped in unpredictable, dangerous environments. Although the wider sports public primarily remembers Green for his infamous 1988 late-night street brawl with Mike Tyson in Harlem, the consistent pattern of domestic turmoil in his personal life painted a far more sobering picture of his true character. The repeated arrests and erratic courtroom appearances severely undermined his professional boxing opportunities, turning a promising heavyweight career into an unfulfilled, chaotic spectacle. Now living quietly in his senior years, Green stands as a vivid example of how unresolved personal instability and unchecked aggression outside the sporting arena can overshadow athletic potential, leaving behind a legacy marked more by turbulence and legal conflict than championship glory. Warren Moon, hailed as a pioneering trailblazer for black quarterbacks in professional football, Warren Moon shattered systemic barriers with his cannon arm and precision passing, orchestrating the legendary run-and-shoot offense for the Houston Oilers. A 9-time Pro Bowl selection and the first black quarterback inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, Moon was celebrated across North America as an exceptional athlete, team leader, and revered role model. Yet beneath his distinguished reputation lay a shocking domestic violence scandal that rocked the sports world in the mid-1990s. In July 1995, police units were dispatched to Moon's suburban Texas residence following a frantic emergency call from his 7-year-old son. Officers arrived to discover Moon's wife Felicia suffering from visible facial contusions, throat abrasions, and a split lip resulting from a violent confrontation inside the home. Despite Felicia Moon's subsequent reluctance to press formal charges in an attempt to protect their family, Texas prosecutors proceeded with a mandatory domestic violence trial against the high-profile star quarterback. During the nationally televised 1996 trial, graphic medical photographs and 911 audio recordings were presented before the jury, casting an unavoidable harsh spotlight on the dark realities hidden behind their luxurious family estate. While Moon was ultimately acquitted by the jury after his wife testified that she had initiated physical contact during the heated argument, the public revelations permanently dented his clean-cut commercial image. The couple eventually divorced in 2001 after decades together, marking a painful close to a troubled union. Moon's career remains a stark reminder that even the most historic pioneers and celebrated role models are not immune to profound private failures when domestic tension boils over into physical hostility. Flavor Flav. As the wildly animated hype man of the legendary hip-hop collective Public Enemy, Flav-born William Drayton became a global cultural icon, recognizable by his oversized wall clocks, signature sunglasses, and infectious catchphrases. His energetic stage antics perfectly complemented Chuck D's politically charged lyricism, helping propel albums like It Takes a Nation of Millions to hold us back into universal acclaim. Yet behind the whimsical television persona and humorous catchphrases lay a chronic history of severe substance addiction and recurring domestic violence offenses. Flav's legal troubles regarding intimate partner abuse span multiple decades. In 1991, he pleaded guilty to misdemeanor assault charges after physically striking his longtime girlfriend, serving a 30-day jail sentence. The dangerous cycle of domestic aggression resurfaced repeatedly throughout his life. In October 2012, law enforcement arrested Flav at his Las Vegas residence following a terrifying domestic dispute in which he threatened his partner's teenage son with a kitchen knife during a heated altercation, resulting in felony assault and battery charges. Even after reinventing himself as a popular reality television star in the 2000s, the dark patterns persisted. In late 2021, police were once again summoned to his Nevada home on domestic battery allegations involving physical confrontation with a female partner. These recurring legal battles continually punctured the playful, harmless cartoon persona Flav cultivated on reality television, exposing the persistent danger of unaddressed domestic violence. His life story illustrates how entertainment charm and comedic celebrity can mask a deeply troubled reality, reminding audiences that real-world harm cannot be erased by stage humor. When the stadium lights dim and the final encore fades, we are left to confront a painful reality. Extraordinary talent offers no guarantee of noble character. For decades, multi-million-dollar contracts, fierce public adoration, and corporate silence shielded these icons while the women beside them suffered in the shadows. This leaves us with an enduring, uncomfortable question: can we truly separate the timeless art from the unforgivable sins of the artist? Or does celebrating their genius make us complicit in excusing their darkest deeds? Share your candid thoughts and reflections in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to support Golden Black Legends as we continue uncovering the raw, untold truths behind cultural history.